Alright everybody, we got this here Chevy 6.0 running like poopy. It's got a bunch of O2 codes. I tried to do this fast since it's running like crap. 1800 millivolts roughly is the bias voltage on these 2011 Chevys, I guess. Some of them are 4500. I don't remember what years those were. Probably the older ones. Focus. So it's stuck at that bias voltage. I checked, the voltage is right there. And I'm just going to short it between the two voltage. Don't worry, this will not hurt anything. It's just voltage that we're doing here. Now we got it down to 0, so now it probably thinks it's lean, or it thought it was rich here. And pretty much Bob's your uncle, you need a friggin' sensor. The last thing I need to check, I guess, to make sure the heater circuit's working correctly, which I'll shut the truck off before I do that. Alright everybody, truck's off. Got some test leads hooked up. I'm gonna actually explain what I'm doing here. I'm gonna ignore this code with a P0128 because that's not related, but we've got 2, 3, 4, and then obviously a misfire can cause by a bad O2 sensor as well, but 4 codes that would have to do with O2. We do have one for sensor 2, or low voltage, but I think that's just because, if I don't know if you saw, but the way it was at 1800 millivolts, it's thinking that this side's rich and it's pulling fuel from this side, and then the actual exhaust is lean, causing low voltage on sensor 2. So pretty easy breakdown of how to test any narrowband O2 sensor. They're going to have 4 wires. If they have 5 wires, you do not have a narrowband O2 sensor. Let me zoom in a little bit. The 2 with the same color, those are the heater circuit on the sensor side. You can see here on the harness side, the vehicle side, that they're different. They've got all different colors. But the 2 that are the same, that's the heater circuit, so you just gotta pretty much follow it over here where I've got my 2 pins. And the heater circuit on this one, I guess, is a pink and a green, kinda hard to tell. They always like discolor after they've been in there a while. And the signal wires, the white and blue ones, those are purple and tan, maybe, question mark. So I'm probed there. This is coming from the harness side, obviously. Oh, zoom out. I've got the key on, and I've got this one actually has a heater bidirectional control, so I should be able to turn this little light bulb I've got hooked up on. Be careful of stuff like this where you might blow a fuse, touching ground. I mean, it's too rusty to blow a fuse, but what. And so that's what we're gonna do now. Let's do increase. Oh, we're at 10%. It's pretty bright. Oop. It only allowed you to do it for 30 seconds, and now we've expired. But we know that we can easily pull enough current, even though this is a smaller bulb. These heater circuits in the O2 sensor don't pull a lot of juice. So that light bulb was like 175 milliamps, yeah, 175 milliamps that it runs. Should be perfectly adequate enough. So, and it was pretty bright. I don't have any queries about that. What it said was a 10% duty cycle. It looked more like on off. These are male pins on this side, which is a great design by General Motors. So if there's any pin fitment issue ever, you know, just replace the sensor. The sensor looks like a pile of crap anyways. Look like I've been in there for a few minutes, I'd say. If you live in the Rust Belt like me, be careful when you take these out. It might pull every thread out with it. So just be careful of that. I would say you want to loosen it until it stops turning, then go back, and then just keep moving it back and forth, trying to break off the rust on the inside before it comes through and pulls every thread with it. All right. So this truck needs a upstream O2 sensor, and that'll get it back on the road. The complaint was this thing wouldn't go up hills, so definitely not going to go up hills if it's running out of fuel. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and have a great day. So bonus footage is what I'm talking about with the freaking hot sensor. Hot. Trying to get this. See those last 2 threads? How they're all shiny and crappy? It's because they were covered in rust, and when you pull them through, as you're twisting this bad boy out, they get a little fluffed up. So, then you take, where is it? I have one somewhere. I also have a tap too. 5/8 by 18. That's the tap. If you ever want to use a tap, but I have a thread chaser version too somewhere. Here. Which that one's kind of a little rough looking as well, but you want to grab one of those. So, there you go. Bonus footage. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. I figured I'd show you what a good O2 sensor is supposed to look like. At first, they all start out their bias voltage 1800 millivolts, and then as the heater element heats up the O2 sensor, then it starts working, and it switches from 0 to about a volt. So 0 to a volt. Oop, why is that missing? Huh. Weird. Definitely should be 0 to a volt. I don't know why it disappeared completely. That's weird. Anyways, that's some software thing, but you know, this is the Bank 2 sensor one. This is the one that we're looking at. They all kind of look like each other, so it makes me feel like there's going to be some cat codes coming. I will say it took a while for this to fix itself. Now it's saying that it's running rich. Yeah, I mean, that clearly should be 40 millivolts is right here. I don't know what happened. Wow. It says Bank 2's, it says they're both running rich right now. Maybe that's why this O2 went bad. Interesting. This is why I verify fixes. I mean, that O2 was definitely bad, but maybe it's not the condition and why it won't go up hills. This, the plot thickens, does it? I didn't have a single code for airflow. Let's go see what the mass airflow is. Back. Let's get in a more comfortable position. Engine. Mass airflow right here. These two. Change those to grams per second. It's right about where it should be. It's a 6.0, so that's right where that should be. And these still all look right. Oop, this one. Yeah, it says it's running minus 22 in the long term. I don't think this is a Let's do this. I can do this one. I'll drive it. Well, yeah. No, yeah, it's definitely gonna count up. So it's definitely taken away for a rich condition. Alright, I'm going to do some poking. Rich condition is pretty rare on some of these older ones. So usually, I mean, it's a math problem or some sort of O2 sensor problem, but we know now we can trust our O2 sensors. So I'll do some poking and maybe I'll bring you back. Alright everybody, I've taken said mass airflow out. There's two Torx. They were T15s. Don't put T10s in it. They might be rusted like mine. You gotta slam a T15 in there. Okay, that's what it's kinda, oh, whoa, hey-o. See if we can get this thing to focus. Enhance. That's what they're kinda supposed to look like. And you might think that it's just dark from crappy lighting, but that's just what they look like. They're like all black. So let's see if we can enhance anymore. Enhance. Oh, enhance. Look how dark that is. So not the bottom one really, but the top one here is really dark. Looks supposed to look like that. Looks like that. So it's quite dirty, so we're gonna clean it and then we'll see what the fuel trims look like after that. Before I put it in, I'll just give you the look at what it looks like now. Look at that, clear as a bell. Okay, haven't started it up yet. Want to bring you guys along. You can see the bias voltages now. It's actually more like 1900, but not important. Let's start it up. Curious what the mass airflow. By the way, when you clean it, make sure it's dry before you plug it all in and stuff. I reset the fuel trims already. It's gonna take a second for those to start learning anyways. Truck not really running the greatest anyways. It probably needs a tune-up or something. But we'll see here. Oh, see, now we're in the positive. We're no longer in the negative anymore. Anything below or above 10 or negative 10, depending on which way we're talking, you know, we want to be closer to 0 on the fuel trims. But as far as long term goes, you don't want to be over 10. I'm curious what yeah, mass airflow is about the same. So very interesting. But it fixed the fuel trims. So I don't know what the difference is here on the mass airflow. It was rated like 6.2, which it's bouncing between 6.1 and 6.3 on the mass airflow, and then you have the calculated value, which is a little bit less. Well, it's also bouncing between the two. I don't know, we could always pop over. Let's do it. Let's pop over to generic data. Just to, because in mode 6 on this generic OBD2 information, they're usually, or I shouldn't say usually, I think they're unmanipulated data, whereas the other stuff will be calculated data. This is just what the computer sees without any manipulation possible. I'm not sure which brands do that, but I know that some do. You saw right there, it said calculated and then the regular. So you assume the mass airflow regular was what it was supposed to be, and then the calculated one was the changed one. It says here that we're taking away fuel. That's weird. It's not as bad as it was before, though. It's definitely within the spec. I don't know. We'll let that go. Let's see what this says. Saying less. 5.7. Weird, huh? Let's pop back over. All zippy zappy like. Does it have them all saved? No, it does not, of course. Well, we'll just do that one. Well, that one's down to 5.7 now too, at a hot idle. What are we at down here for our fuel trims? Still running a little rich, not negative 22. Yeah, don't worry about the disco party going on right now. That's the shop lights. They're kind of doing, I don't know what the hell they're doing. So this might creep up a little bit here. Oh, we went to positive 3 there. Yeah. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll stay there because it went to positive 3. And I will have to drive this one. There's a little bit of a misfire every once in a while, but a lot of these Chevy LS motors are kind of like that. So I'm going to leave this here because this is enough to be fixed. This turret has a lot other a lot other stuff wrong with it. So, but now it should be able to go up hills no problem. So leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and thanks for watching.